Hey everyone! Today we're diving into one of the most mysterious phenomena in pop culture, how The Simpsons somehow keeps predicting the future. From Donald Trump becoming president to a global pandemic, it almost feels like the writers know something we don't. But are these really prophecies, or is there a logical explanation? Stick around till the end to find out. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. There are plenty more fascinating breakdowns coming up. The first striking example is Donald Trump. In the episode Bart to the Future from the year 2000, Lisa becomes president and mentions she inherited the mess left behind by President Trump. At the time, it sounded like a ridiculous joke, but 16 years later, Trump actually won the election and moved into the White House.
As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. How bad is it, Secretary Van Houten?
We're broke.
The country is broke? How can that be?
Let's move on to technology. Back in 1995, in the episode Lisa's Wedding, the writers showed a future where Lisa's fiancé talks through a wristwatch. Today, we call that an Apple Watch or a Samsung Galaxy Watch. In the same episode, Lisa also chats with her mom through video call, about 15 years before Skype, Zoom, and FaceTime became reality.
Hi, Mom. Lisa, hello. How are you doing in England? Hey, Mom. Oh, that's great news about Lisa. Well, listen, I better get back to work.
Sometimes the show even nailed entire directions of technology. In a 1994 episode, we see cars driving themselves. Today, companies like Tesla and Waymo are testing real self-driving vehicles.
Hello, I'm an electric car. I can't go very fast or very far.
In another scene, a character uses a device that instantly translates speech, basically what we now have with Google Translate and live translation earbuds. But it's not just about tech. Throughout the 1990s, episodes touched on financial scams and debt crises. Then in 2008, the world was shaken by the housing market collapse, eerily similar to what The Simpsons had mocked a decade earlier.
Order! Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Get to the money! In a moment. First, let's review the minutes from our last meeting.
Get to the money.
Get to the money! Get to the money! Very well.
There are sports predictions too. In a 2014 episode, Germany is shown winning the World Cup. That same year, Germany crushed Brazil in a shocking 7-1 match, almost exactly as in the show. Back in 2000, the writers even showed characters using VR headsets. And today, virtual reality is everywhere with Oculus, MetaQuest, and PlayStation VR. And in 2008, The Simpsons featured Homer trying to vote for Barack Obama, only for the machine to switch his vote. A few years later, in 2012, similar glitches were actually reported during US elections. And finally, one of the most jaw-dropping predictions, in a 1998 episode, the 20th Century Fox studio is shown as being a division of Walt Disney Company. Nearly 20 years later, in 2017, that's exactly what happened in real life. After seeing all these coincidences, the big question is, how is this even possible? Do the writers of The Simpsons really have the ability to see the future? The truth is much more down to earth. First, there's the simple law of large numbers. Over the decades, the show has released more than 700 episodes, each packed with jokes, references, and absurd ideas. With that much content, some of those ideas are bound to come true sooner or later. Second, we have to remember that The Simpsons is a satirical cartoon. The writers take things that already exist in society, exaggerate them, and make fun of them. That's why some of their gags feel like predictions. For example, technology. In the 90s, people were already talking about mobile devices and video calls. The writers made a joke about it, and 20 years later, it became everyday reality. Third, the writing team is incredibly observant. Many of them are deeply connected to Hollywood, politics, and the media. They hear about ideas, trends, and projects long before they become mainstream. To the average viewer, this looks like a prophecy, but to the writers, it's just being a little more attentive to what's happening in the world. And finally, there's another factor. We only remember the hits, not the misses. Hundreds, even thousands of predictions from The Simpsons never came true, but nobody talks about those. People only highlight the ones that turned out to be accurate, and social media amplifies this effect by taking clips out of context. On top of that, some so-called predictions floating around online are straight-up fakes, created by fans years later. And this is where it all becomes clear. The Simpsons aren't prophets. They're a mirror of society. Their strength is in noticing real issues, exaggerating them, and showing them in a satirical way. Over time, the world simply catches up with their jokes. You could even say the Simpsons don't predict the future. They just pay very close attention to the present. And that's why their prophecies feel so accurate. Because if you think about it, anyone can predict the future. You just have to notice the trends, ask questions, and look a little further ahead than today. So the next time you see a meme about a Simpsons prediction, remember, it's not magic, it's satire, observation, and hundreds of episodes to draw from. Now I want to hear from you. Which Simpsons prediction impressed you the most? Drop your answer in the comments. I'd love to read them. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. There are plenty more fascinating stories coming your way.